So tell me about your guys' kind of journey with social media. You've done pretty well for yourselves building a TikTok channel.
Ooh, how do I start that?
Well, he started doing it just to kind of follow along with him in the field and things, and I would go with him and just kind of record some videos and pictures, and it was more, I think, just for us. We just wanted documentation for us of like what the dogs are doing and our friends. And then
that was with Facebook primarily.
Yeah.
In the beginning, yeah.
And then TikTok, we just decided, let's do it. And it was funny because we started a TikTok and we would talk about like certain videos would get a lot of traction and some wouldn't. And we finally just sat down and I was like, look, they don't want to see us. They want to see the dogs. They don't care about us. They want to see the dogs.
Yeah.
And since then it's been like, we had ended up having a litter of pups and kind of posted some videos of Sadie as she was getting farther along. It gained some traction and people started, reaching out. And then the first litter that we had while we were on TikTok, we started documenting just the babies when they were born and then, following their journey. And that's basically where it started because people were like, I love it. Even if they didn't, weren't purchasing a puppy, it was like, I want to see these babies get to their final destination, and it was really neat. Yes. And that's kind of why we do it now, I think more. And I always tell our followers and stuff, it's tough to do a live every single night with the babies. It's hard, especially with him being gone a lot or in the field or wherever he is. Yeah. It's just me here with the kiddos and 10 puppies and whatever dogs still remain. And we have some farm animals. So it's hard sometimes, but I know what it means to people to be able to see them every night and know their babies are growing, their pups are getting bigger. And that's kind of my take on it, I think. And it is so rewarding. And then to see them from start to finish. And we have owners reach out and say, it was so cool to see like the day they were born. I can find my baby, I can see them be raised from the day they were born all the way up and see the videos that you guys post. And that's so rewarding, I think. And just social media sometimes can be kind of scary. And I think there's so many scammers and things like that. That's why we started really the first litter. That was one of the reasons people were like, I don't know if you're real people or if you're just saying you have a litter of pups. And we've been scammed before, not by social media, thankfully. But so we were like, look, we started FaceTiming all the owners, showing them, here's our babies. Here's, here they are. This is us. This is our house. This is, all the things. And just kind of opening our doors to people. And I think that kind of set their hearts at ease a little more. And now we've got pups going, this most recent litter, pups going to California, going to Texas, and of course we're in southern Indiana, so we were like, California? That's so. Can we go?
Yeah.
We want to visit the pups.
Yeah, we've now reached the other coast from where we are. I never would have imagined. Not, and maybe you can say something differently in this, but when we started the social media thing, number one, Facebook was kind of the thing, right? And of course the kids had TikTok, and I really wasn't a fan of it, just because of all the nonsense that could come on TikTok. And on a whim one day, I decided, what?
He's just laughing at you.
Yeah, I mean,
you said the nonsense on TikTok, and I thought that's my category.
Yeah.
You'll get banned for that.
You would get banned for that. Like, if you're ever in any of our lives and you hear me say I need a Dr. Pepper, that's what I'm going to go do.
Some of them call them spicy waters. Yeah, I got to go get he's going to get a spicy water.
Yeah. But TikTok for us has been, I mean, really, it's been a game changer. I don't think we would have ever reached, not necessarily the amount of people, but the locations of people, because, TikTok and Facebook, they both run off different algorithms. So your Facebook is primarily like your local tri-state area, people that you really reach. Maybe here and there you'll get a reel or something from somebody out, on the West Coast. But TikTok, you're hitting different countries. You're hitting, different time zones. I mean, it's insanity. Like, we get more, and it's crazy too, because this past litter, we've actually gotten more requests for follows and more messages about our dogs from the southern and western regions than and actually, I guess really the East Coast too, because we got Pennsylvania, Maine, Massachusetts, New York. We've had messages from all those states, and it's just a whole different beast, so to speak. I mean, one video may get 15,000 views or more, and then, I mean, we've got one that had 300 and something thousand in 24 hours, and all it was people commenting on it that we were a puppy mill, and I was like, no, we're not at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Come to our bed at
That's-
midnight and see them stretched out in our king size bed, you know?
yeah,
That's the unfortunate side of social media because like you were saying, you hit a very specific audience on the TikTok side, right? You're hitting that GSP audience, but you're hitting it all over the place. Now, when you go viral, you're not just hitting a GSP audience, you're hitting a dog audience, and you're a dog owner, or even then there's that 1% of people that are just idiots.
Oh yeah, we see those.
Are
quite
there to stir the pot, right?
Yep.
It's you have to have some thick skin to an extent with some people, and you have to learn to just let people be sometimes, because it's not worth arguing.
Block and move on. That's why it's a
exactly.
good tag team duo, because Tyson doesn't have the patience for him, but I have the patience for him, and we actually got banned the last time. It's normally him that gets us banned off lives. True story. Somebody will pop off something crazy, but I actually got us banned the most recent time, and it was because someone asked me the color of the spots on the dogs, and I said, that's ticking. There's patches, and then there's ticking, and they banned us for hate speech. They reported us for hate speech because I said ticking, and she said, you're making fun of people with special needs. And I said, no, if that's something you don't like, contact the AKC. I didn't make up that word. That's what the AKC calls it. And they banned us for we appealed it, and they banned us for 7 days because I said their color variation is considered ticking.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, and that's the the TikTok algorithm is not, that's not controlled. There's not somebody there giving you,
which is exactly what he said.
Review, it's
a computer.
It's gonna be a computer. They don't understand. They can't take, any sort of cultural context into play. But then the stuff that people get away with posting on TikTok too, where I'm just like,
which is what he said.
Good Lord.
He was like, I've seen more body parts than I need to see in the last week, or,
I told her we were going to start putting her in swimsuits and just going live.
I said, no, you get in a swimsuit. I'm not getting in a swimsuit.
I'm here for it. I'll do it. I don't care. We wouldn't.
From a guy that's done it for Manscaped on here, it doesn't boost your engagement that much.
It definitely wouldn't boost mine at all. I can promise you that.
Well, it's entertaining to some at least.
It's wild, but you do, I think the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah.
I think there's, and it's funny because when we call them PETA people get in there, you shouldn't force your dogs to work. And we're like, you have no idea. You have no idea about it. You just
don't understand.
They force us to work them,
No kidding.
But it's funny because our pup owners that are normally in our lives will hop on. And I mean, all of them are like, you need to get out of here. They just start defending us, and they're like, you have absolutely no clue because they've been with us for so long.
What was the last time we got paused on TikTok Live the other night? It was because somebody put on there, you shouldn't breed. And I commented back, I was like, maybe you shouldn't breed. Or something like that. Yeah. And they were like, some comments were filtered or whatever. And I was like, no.
It was his.
They called that bullying or something, huh?
Yeah. He called Sadie a crackhead one time because she was eating embers off of our solo stove, and we were just out sitting by the fire, and she was snapping at the embers, and he was like, she's kind of a crackhead. And they were like, your life privileges have been revoked or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, take it, Tyson.
And of course I appealed that too. But...
I think we won that one. Yeah. But you see a lot more good people, I think, and especially
I made
with
a video of Radar. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I made a video of Radar making a crack cocaine reference, but it wasn't on a live. Maybe that was the difference.
That's
maybe,
I never got flagged for anything.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, it's really
anyway,
cool.
sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. When Radar had passed and we saw the information, we had other people that honestly, we've never met them in person. We just know them from TikTok, and they have our phone numbers, and they'll call us and they're like, did you get on TikTok yet? And I was like, no. And she was like, don't get on TikTok. And I was like, why can I not get on TikTok? And it was because Radar had passed. Yeah. And she was like, do you follow Radar? And I was like, yeah, I follow Radar. And she was like, don't get on TikTok. Well, of course, what do? It's like, don't look, and you're going to look. So
100%.
yeah, we get on TikTok but to see the amount of the community just kind of come together for him, and people that you've never met or don't know or whatever, but just kind of follow along with your journey and your dogs, and know all these things about not necessarily you but your animals. I think that was really cool, and that's what I told him when we got off the phone with you the last time. I said, to me, that was cool, just to see how much just a dog, and some people are like, it's just a dog. But to see how many people Radar brought together, and the trend of, throwing the ball to the dogs in the yard or whatever, for Radar, just in his memory. I think that's so cool. That's really positive of social media, I think.
For sure.
It was really a powerful and humbling experience for sure.
And probably overwhelming.
Oh, holy smoke. Like I didn't know what to expect for sure. I knew it was a very emotional video. And I had waited, I think I waited 3 days to even like compose myself enough, from after the incident to actually make the video. And some people will say, well, yeah, there were edits and it was, but we had spent essentially, 6 months every day on that driveway, talking and, and interacting with people. And so I couldn't just walk away from it and let people think the Radar just disappeared. And honestly, the place I was in when I lost Radar, it was so low. This community made such a monumental impact in my life. It's just, I can't thank people enough, because it was when I needed people the most. The people that understood were this community, because how many of us have lost a dog, whether it's a GSP or not, but lost a dog in a tragic manner. And you just know, that gut wrenching feeling, right? And you hate to see that for anybody.
It's sickening. And it is. It's like, it's the quietness, I think, after the fact sometimes, when everything gets quiet and you walk in and it's like, wait a minute, like this isn't normal. It's hard. And especially when you've bonded to your animals. And GSPs don't give you an option, I don't think. They're like, you're going to like me. Whether you like me or not. Whether you want to or not, you're going to like me. They don't give you an option sometimes. And man, the hole that and we hear people all the time say, I just lost my dog of, 17 years, less. And I'm like, I don't even want to consider it. I'm leaving the country, because if something happens, he's going to be a mess. I'm going to be a mess.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, because they are like your family members. They are, they're right there for you when you're sad. Nobody else understands. They're like, we don't care why you're sad, but here I am, it's hard.
100%. No, it's crazy how the dogs can tell. Sorry, you can probably hear mine.
Oh, not bothering us. We're used to that.
You can probably hear Tiptoe Tammy, as I call her. Sadie, we always call Tammy, because she tiptoes around. You hear all the time. We've been working a lot in just a position place, basically, or a duration place. So, and he usually does pretty well, but the fact that he can hear us talking, he's not being involved, it's just pure torture for the poor guy. FOMO.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So, but we've been working. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with the Best Gun Dogs group out there in Utah at all?
I have seen some of their stuff, but not enough to really know.
And it's one of those things. What I love about this community is it's just like there's just good people everywhere you go. Of course, you're going to find a rotten egg every once in a while, and I'm sure you'll find some. But they invited me out to come out for a hunt and to learn a little bit about dog training. Of course, I grew up in the son of a veterinarian. I grew up around a lot of animals, and I even worked with a trainer for about 3 or 4 months when I was really young. But like, I'm no expert by any means. This is not my profession, right? But they kind of like took me in and showed me some like great foundational principles of just training a good, obedient gun dog, basically. So we've been working a lot with this leather training collar. I'm a big fan of it. And then, of course, we've been the last 10 days or so here, we've been layering in the Garmin Sport Pro. And like Dop is, man, he's a learner. He's so quick. Like he picks it up so well. Like I wish if I could go back to Radar, I would have trained differently for sure.
Isn't that funny? That's what we always say about Sadie too. Like, had we known, that's why we always say we failed her, because it's not her fault that she was so attached to him. It was ours. And had we known, but you learn as you go sometimes. And it's like the next dog, you're like, we're not doing that again, or we're going to do this time. So it's funny how much you learn. And they do learn really well with older dogs as well. Do you have any other dogs besides Doppler? Or is he your only?
No, Dop's my only at this point. So I've been divorced for just over a year now. So at one point we had my lifelong dog. I had a dog named Arlo that was a German Shepherd Saint Bernard mix. And he lived a long, awesome life. He was 160 pounds, just gentle. Yeah. And then we also had a German Shepherd, Great Pyrenees mix, and she was a really beautiful dog, and she still lives with my ex-wife. So now it's just Dop and I have a running bet with my breeder. I've worked with the Pointer Mountain Bird Dogs for Dop. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but we have a running bet that I'll be back within a year for another one. So we'll see.
They do work really well in pairs. I will say that, and they learn so much from the other dogs.
Oh yeah.
Saint is like, we always have to finally pull him out of the field to let the dog take a little charge, because they tend to rely on him to find the bird, especially like in the field. But even at home, they just start picking up on, like, you tell Saint to sit and he'll sit, and then the other dog will come up and be like, oh, this is what we're doing, and he'll just sit. And you can kind of layer it in and then slowly pull the older dogs out. And it's just primarily because, they have an attention span of a flea.
My gosh. Yes.
The one-on-one, no distractions. And of course, having 5 GSPs, there's always going to be a distraction. So it makes it interesting.
The one thing that I learned kind of early on, and you can ask your trainer this as well, if you are working with that dog and it yawns, it understands you.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
Yeah. And I've tried to watch it. Yeah. So if you're doing something repetitive, whether it's place or force fetch or whatever, and finally you've done it so many times and you look down at the dog and it yawns, it has picked it up.
It's processed that information. It's like, Dad, I'm bored with this. Like,
right. And I don't know how realistic it is. It may not be realistic at all. That may just be some old wives' tale.
It could just be anecdotal, right? But that is an interesting thing. Like, honestly, I've never heard that. It may be a question I have to run past Dr. Gary, but we'll see. Like, if you've seen it work, and it's like, it's kind of like you hear, there's still people that read the old Farmer's Almanac, There's a lot of truth to some of those old tales, and a word I can't say well, colloquialism,
I still cut my persimmon seeds in half, so.
And I mean, through the guiding aspect of what we do with the dogs, you get a lot of different clientele, and some of those individuals just happen to be older gentlemen or older ladies that have stories to tell. And when you're in the field, you hear some cool stuff. I always used to think, well, there's Sadie right there. I always used to think that my dog only wanted to point mice, because you would see her like point mice or where they had been. And I had older gentleman out in the field with me one time, and he said, let me ask you a question. Did you train your dog with quail when you originally first started doing that? And I was like, actually, I did, because they were $6 a piece, instead of 25. And he said, that's why your dog points mice. And I said, well, how is that? He said, mice take quail feathers and build nests out of it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because
crazy thought.
I'm doing the exact same thing right now, Tyson. I am like using quail for the most part to train Dop. Hey, this is Sadie.
That's Sadie. I always say that's his first wife.
She's not going to be
I'm
happy
the second one
until she gets a little attention. Yeah.
Well,
She's
now
the
that
main
you've got her
character.
up, let me grab Doc and he can come say hi. Come here, Doc.
No, sorry, Papa.
Don't you do it. Don't you lick me.
Come on. Here. This is the trick, and where we're trying to work on a little bit of kind of work right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to turn this. There we go.
Oh,
Hi, Doppler.
He'll get up here, but he won't stay up here very much. And again, I need to spend more time with him on the boards and working the collar a little bit into the bow training. But the fortunate
He's
thing
doing
is
good.
really I don't have to, like the AI gen part it's really just a still photo. That the AI then takes, and so I really only have to have him up here occasionally.
Right.
Good, because I don't need him scratching this desk. I'll be in deep shit.
He's got the big nose and the big ears like Saint. I love it. I love those big floppy ears.
He will literally take his ears and pull it down, and he'll sit and just chew on the end of his ears, just like dude, you're
Saint
insane.
is notorious for every time you let him out of the crate or the dog box or whatever, he instantly starts shaking. He's got to shake his ears out, and then we normally have to clean him a lot. But
sure.
yeah, he's the long-eared, and I love it. I love that.
No.
Oh, center stage. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
He just pushed buttons. We don't know what's happening.
Sorry.
I think he goes for the remote all the time, and he'll turn the TV on. I'll be like, "What the hell did you just do?" But all right, hey, I've got another question from Dop, if you guys don't mind. Is that all right?
Oh, we don't mind at all.
Absolutely.
This one's yours.
All right, I've got a couple of them, so we'll rapid fire these. We may have covered some of this already, but some of this will be entertaining. Whoops.
There's the clumsiness coming out.
Yeah, he definitely wants to be involved. Oh, Doppler.
Oh, let me up here. Tell me that ain't Saint right there.
Yeah.
Minus the liquor.
Hi. Yeah. You're good. Okay. Let's just sit down. All the way
He's
down.
doing phenomenal for his age. Sure.
He's doing good.
He's like I said, he's a quick learner. He's pretty smart. So, all right, let's see if I can get this to play without him tearing it away from me.
Guys, I know you follow us on TikTok, and I really appreciate that. We love the support. We love this community. But you've got to admit, my dad's one of the more ridiculous people you must be following on TikTok, right? I mean, come on. There's got to be.
So the question, could you hear that?
Yeah. That's
this
definitely
is the challenging
a you.
piece.
That's definitely a you question because he follows crazy stuff.
I don't know that you're the craziest that we follow through Outlaw. I mean, we have, so to be very clear, we have an Outlaw page, and then we both have our own personal pages. I guess we should really let you know, like, we follow a lot of motocross related stuff because our kids race motocross. I raced when I was younger. So a lot of the stuff that I personally follow are either regarding diesel trucks or motocross, and it's generally crashes or
awesome.
Like mine's like bread making, canning stuff.
Yeah, that's a good balance, right?
Total opposite ends. Total opposite.
He'll say, "Have you seen this person on TikTok?" And I'm like, "No, we're on two totally different algorithms."
I tell you what, I got really wrapped up in the lizard one.
Lizard.
Yeah.
Lizard. Yeah. That
I don't know why.
He sent it to me. He was like, "Have you seen this?" And I was like, "I have never seen that." He was like, "You're kidding me." Then he started sending me the video. Then my For You page was all lizard.
You're welcome.
Videos, yeah.
Lizard.
I need to start sending him like bread making videos and canning videos and stuff.
That's you got to share it, right? Okay, I'm gonna pull another one from Dop here. And how is it? Like, are you guys able to hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry.
And we do have some background noise here too. So, and I'm getting old and deaf. So.
And this will. Excuse me. I'm gonna tie him back up.
Okay. Sadie, you letting her out? Okay. don't know what center stage is on this, but while you're away, I'm having fun pushing buttons.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's
So did you download it in an app? Is that what you guys have?
Yeah, so through the invite that you sent us, it said that there was an iOS app, so we're actually using our iPad.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I had to download it through the app on my iPad too because I had a panic moment where my computer was about to, felt like it was going to take a shit, I guess, or something. So, yeah. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna press play again here.
To be more entertaining people out there than him, aren't there?
Let's see.
Really?
Sorry.
I like the responses.
I had so that's just me speaking of course, and then it's a mirroring voice type of deal. But gosh, it's fun. I'm having entirely too much fun with this stuff.
I bet it is. That's the kind of stuff I do.
It's good. So all right, let me line this question up here.
On TikTok, right? I mean, come on. There's got to be more entertaining people out there than him, aren't there? Really? No.
Okay.
So, Devin, Tyson, a lot of people think that GSPs are just some of the cutest puppies that are in existence, period. What do you have to tell the people that have never owned a GSP puppy before? Maybe some warnings or some just precautionary tales of what it's really like to own a GSP.
I'll let you handle that one.
Tyson,
So we're very honest with our pup owners. We always tell them they're probably going to drive you mad before you realize how good you've got it. We always say, don't give up on them. Give them grace because like we were talking about before, they're so much smarter than you even realize. They get themselves into predicaments sometimes that you're like, how did you do this? Because they're so smart. And I think we as people just underestimate them, they're just goofy puppies, but man, they're smart. The other thing that we always tell them is they're going to be wild. Give them grace when they're wild, but I promise you it will come back around. They puppy so hard, but my God, they love even harder than they puppy. And they are so loyal to you. And that's, to us, that's the reward. And we always open the door for, questions. If you have training questions or, they always have a regression. So be prepared for it because there is a regression that's going to happen. But don't be frustrated in your training. Just stick with it and continue going. And don't be frustrated with the pup because it's not their fault. It's just a natural phase that they're in. But yeah, we always tell our pup owners, just hang with them. And we promise you that dog will give you 10 times more love than it gave you grief.
Yeah. I think really the only warning, as far as a warning, the only warning that I've ever really given out is if you are a person that doesn't like to be active, the dog is not for you. Yeah. There's so many other breeds out there that can suffice to what you're looking for. But, you can live in an apartment and have a GSP as long as you're active. But if you come home to your apartment every day and you play Call of Duty for 7 hours and you just want the dog there as a companion, it's probably not going to work out real well, and they're going to be destructive, and they're going to find ways to entertain themselves that aren't really ideal in the owner's eyes. But if you're a responsible GSP owner, then you can live in a camper trailer that you pull behind your pickup truck, and as long as you're spending that time with that animal outside and keeping it engaged and interacted with, then that'll be the best dog. Yeah, stimulation. That's the best dog you'll ever have.
Mental stimulation is key.
Yeah.
And we go through that in the winter when it's cold out and they can't be out because there's 3 foot of snow. They want to be out, but I won't let them because I'm a little bit of a helicopter mom, I guess. Yeah. But mental stimulation is a big deal, especially in the wintertime when we can't run or if it's raining or, they've got to go. Yeah. And it doesn't matter if it's kayaking, swimming, boating, they don't care. They just want to go.
They want to go. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't have the ability to guide the way we do, ours would probably be insane because they look forward to the weekend where we're going to go guide or maybe we're going to go hunt for ourselves. They look forward to that, specifically that. And you can tell because, I'll use today as an example. When we first got in this conversation, you asked me what my day was like. Well, packing for this hunting trip, those dogs knew what I was doing already. Like they were sitting out in the driveway, all watching me and whining, wanting to know when they were going to get the load up in them boxes. So
They knew.
yeah, so that's probably the biggest warning that I have for a new owner or a potential owner.
Just keep them active, keep them entertained, keep them stimulated, their mind stimulated, and they'll be fine.
They are a floppy-eared Belgian Malinois.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, just a little alligator, pretty much, right?
Yep.
100%.
Well, Devin, Tyson, I really appreciate all the time you've taken today. It has been it's great to meet you guys in person. Well, as close to in person as we can do right now.
For sure. For sure.
I look forward to seeing you guys on TikTok. I look forward to is your litter all spoken for at this point, or you still got a couple left?
They're all gone.
All gone.
All gone. Congratulations. So now
Thank
the hunting
you.
season hits. It's time to hit hard. I'm sure you got a lot of good dog work in front of you. So.
Yeah.
We do. We definitely got some miles to go.
South Dakota tomorrow.
Yeah, South Dakota tomorrow, and that'll take up the next 10, 12 days of our time, and then after that, it's every weekend that the game preserve's open. I'll be there.
Well, good. Glad to hear it. I wish you guys the best of luck. And you'll have
Thank
to
you.
keep me posted. I want to hear how this trip in South Dakota goes. And thank you again so much. I don't know exactly when this is all going to air. I haven't figured out the exact schedule yet. And
Totally
of course,
fine.
there's editing processes and stuff. What I may do with some of it, if you guys don't mind, is it okay if I go to your channel and pull basically some videos for like kind of B-roll, some kind of background video and stuff, like kind of because what will happen is I'm going to use like minute-long clips of these, kind of to drive people then to where these are going to be the full episodes are going to be posted on YouTube. And that's going to be a completely new channel because I have not messed with YouTube at all ever.
Good luck.
So it's going to be an experiment. I think YouTube's the right place for it because Instagram and TikTok really are more short form content, driven. So, but again, the idea is to do something that allows us to come face to face and get to know each other in the community. And I appreciate it. You guys are two awesome members of this bird dog community, and I wish you nothing but the best. So
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Good luck
much.
with
And
Doppler.
don't worry, I'll be sending you some clips on my route out there and stuff. It's
nice because he can
you'll
hop
see.
off the interstate, just jump in a field.
Yeah.
please do. I'll look forward to seeing that. So that's
If you want me to send you clips of me cleaning the puppy pen, I can do that too, but it's not quite as exciting.
Not quite as exciting, but I'm familiar. So but no, they don't call them ditch chickens for no reason, right?
Yeah.
So you said it, so now I have to say it. I have to tell you this story before we roll out of here, and hopefully you can maybe you can use it, maybe you can't. So the first time you go to South Dakota, you never know, like if everything is what you hear is truthful. And one of the things out there that is legal, that is not legal here, is road hunting. So when we were out there that first year, of course, everybody that you meet, they're like, "Oh, what are you out here doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're pheasant hunting." And every one of them's like, "Oh, you're road hunting ditch chickens," and I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah,
what
you
the
can."
Fuck is a ditch chicken?
Exactly. So oddly enough, the first time that we done it, like actually shot from the road, we were all so paranoid we were getting ready to go to jail that there was a CO or a game warden somewhere. We were like, "Oh man!" Like the most awkward, eerie feeling in the world is getting out of your truck, stepping 5 feet or 10 feet away from it, and then letting a rooster fly in front of you and you harvesting it, and then you go collect the bird and you're like, "Oh man."
Run back to the truck.
I did. 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, there's rules involved with that, right? If you're going to retrieve a bird after you shot it from the road, you have to put your gun back in the truck and all these things. But,
Right.
The first time you do it, man, you're nervous. You're like, "Oh man." So, yeah, that was.
Yep. No,
But
it's interesting how the rules change from state to state because there's certain
yes,
things that just make you scratch your head a little bit for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So no, I love that. That sounds like a northern thing to do. The Midwest, northern South Dakotans, North Dakotans. I spent back in it's been almost 15 years ago. I spent a winter up there in Williston, North Dakota, working.
Okay.
We were putting up. I was a steel worker at the time. We were putting up a building near an oil, up all the oil fields up there. And I spent the winter up there in a tent in the bed of one of those truck bed tents, basically.
Whoa.
And one of the dumbest things I've ever done, but it paid really well. And they saved a hell of a lot of money because
you did.
The rent was ridiculous up there. But no, I'm telling you, the size of the birds when you get up into the Dakotas, it is. I mean, I don't have to tell you. You're going.
Oh, they're huge.
Man,
We had tail feathers as tall as our dog boxes.
That's insane. Like,
Yeah.
I see more birds in Iowa than I do I'm from Nebraska originally, but I live in Iowa now. I see more birds up here, but the population in Nebraska. It's like when I was a kid, we would go out and there'd be 10 guys that would go out and push a field, and 70% of them would limit out, and then that just slowly became we'd be lucky if we saw one bird type of deal. And I think a lot of what's happened is there's all the Roundup Ready corn and the Roundup Ready soybeans. We don't get the cover in the crop that they used to. And so you don't. There's the whole food chain's affected there, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Your habitat is going to suffer.
Yeah, so that's what I'm tempted actually with so I've got I have 8 birds left right now. I've got 3 hens, 2 roosters, and then wait a second, maybe I have 9 birds left. And I have a few quail. But I'm on the fence of all right, well, do I keep these? Do I keep a couple of these hens and 1 rooster and raise these, or do I just let these hens go and do my part for conservation? Right?
Yeah. We've done it. Let them go. We had a quail in our garage for a while.
Yeah. And part of that too on your woe training with your dog is the reward of bringing the pheasant back if they do it properly. And I couldn't tell you how many we let birds go just because I wouldn't pursue them because the dog wasn't steady.
Right.
And then they knew the next time they come up on a bird, they're not going to flush it until I do.
Nice.
At least that's how I viewed it.
Do you, when you're working birds, do you ever reuse birds and use that cardboard on a string trick? Have you ever used that at all?
I've never used that, but I've rubber banded their wings.
Okay, you've rubber banded their wings. I've seen videos of that online. Jared Moss out there in Utah, he with pigeons in particular worked really well, and he was training on a lot of pigeons, just a little string, piece of cardboard, and enabled the bird to flush, but it couldn't go. It couldn't go but 10, 15.
I'll have to look into that for sure because there's several methods out there.
Video.
Yeah, please do.
For sure.
I normally don't have any. I'm always let me stay inside when they're doing that. I don't want to see it.
She doesn't like when the dogs get the birds on the ground. She's not a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I love that we've trained all of ours. We flush the bird. Now I know it's going to happen. Shoot, I want it quick. I don't want to watch them. I don't like watching dogs maul them. And we've hunted with some dogs that just maul the bird. I'm that kind of takes the whole sport out of it, I don't want my dog to maul a bird. I want to be able to I can't hit anything in the air at all.
Well, and it's a safety aspect. In the guide world, it's a safety aspect too. You don't know if you're guiding a trained veteran that knows how to hunt birds over a pointer or a gun dog, or if you're, guiding some lawyer that's just wanting to come out and do something that's I hate to say this, it's a rich man's hobby, but
right.
Sometimes they get a little trigger happy. If they see something move in the bushes and you want your dog steady and you want them back away from where the point, where the actual bird is, the best way to train it is to make sure that the dog knows, if I don't move and my owner moves or handler moves, he's going to flush that bird, and I'm going to get to retrieve the bird. And it keeps them out of harm's way in the instance that there's an accidental discharge or, a young kid or something like that that's, maybe just a little bit jumpy on the
That's
trigger.
experienced.
Arrogant jerk
Yeah.
that tries to shoot rabbits.
Yeah, I've had that happen before too. But yeah, we're glad we've been a part of it. I can't wait for the first episode to post so I can just reshare it to everybody that I have.
It's gonna be a blast. We'll edit some things together and make it a good continuity and stuff. It'll be fun. I really appreciate you guys taking the time.